Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Friday, the 13th day of March, 2026. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. This is Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. It started snowing here in the valley proper. For a point of reference, I live downtown, so it may have begun to snow a little bit later or earlier, depending on where you live. But it started snowing downtown here about 12:15, 12:30. Wasn't coming down too hard. At about 4 o'clock this morning, it started to come down at a pretty good clip. Heavy, wet snow, big flakes. Within the last 20 minutes, it is continuing to snow, but it's kind of beginning to taper off a little bit. But this is, they said we could get some snow, but this is not what we thought we had coming, folks. Right now, I'll tell you that the Tumwater Canyon is closed between Leavenworth and Coles Corner. They had an accident there. The passes are all but impassable. There's change required in all three of the major mountain passes. Blewett, I-90, Stevens, snow in there. They have a winter storm warning, which is about as serious as it gets for the rest of the day today. We're on a winter weather advisory here in the valley until noon today. What's going on right now will eventually switch over to a rain-snow mix mid-morning. By noon, it'll switch over to just plain rain as the system passes through and the warmer air comes in, but not real warm. We're only going to be about 41 or 42 for the afternoon high today, so we're going to be below normal. There is a lot of weather to talk about. Most of the major arterials are okay, a little sloppy, a little gloppy. But as the traffic starts to pick up and the tires themselves get the work done to dissipate the snow, that's the main arterials around the Wenatchee Valley in north central Washington. The side streets, parking lots and things, are pretty a little on the rough side, to say the least. But if you can put off your morning drive for a couple of hours, probably not a bad idea at all. So yeah, we have lots of weather to talk about. We have lots of news to talk about. If you like the Colorado Avalanche, you're going to love our Kraken highlights. There's a little tip there. Spring sports got underway in earnest yesterday. I know I checked with Ernest, and he gave me the okay to talk about that. And two important little snippets we want to show for you in the back half of the program. As you know, the Small Business Administration has set up shop, temporary shop, at City Hall in Leavenworth. Javier Caltenco is handling that. This is for all the people in Chelan County only, who suffered some losses during the big December weather event. This is your time to go in and see Javier, find out if you qualify for some small business loans or small loans of any kind to help get yourself back on your feet again. And there is a deadline, and it's pretty soon, which is why we thought it was important to show that interview. And B.J. Anderson from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, one of my favorite people. As you know by now, the Humane Society has teamed up with the city of East Wenatchee to find all the feral cats that they can and get them spayed, neutered, and vaccinated. Good thing there. We'll have that too in the back half of the program. Let's go. We have a lot to get to. I don't know what we're going to be able to see. That's the actual Heights camera. The reason that it looks so light is that's the reflection of the cross itself, which isn't that far away. So pretty wet weather systems passing through us right now. The jet stream is still basically over the top of us. We're at the very southern tip of the jet stream, which is why it's feeding us the weather. It is snowing, as you can see, in downtown Wenatchee, as I already mentioned. It looks like it may have actually picked back up in intensity again. Again, I went outside about 20 minutes ago just to see where we were snow-wise in downtown, and it looked like it was starting to lighten up just a little bit. Again, it's very heavy, very wet snow. So once the warmer air comes and the rain-snow mix begins, the snow should begin to melt at a pretty rapid pace. That's the Valley High camera of Blewett Pass. Chains required on Blewett Pass. You can barely see where you're going. Chains required on I-90. Chains required on Stevens Pass. It's going to snow all day up there. Stevens and I-90 are going to get about 6 to 10 inches of snow, and Blewett's going to get about 4 to 8 today. Let's head up to number 1 Canyon. That's what it looks like. Somewhere down there is the Wenatchee Valley. Sunrise this morning about 15 minutes from now, about 7:17. Sunset tonight, 7:04. That's 11 hours and 46 minutes of daylight, an additional 3 minutes and 26 seconds of daylight than we had yesterday, but there's not going to be a lot of daylight. And just a quick heads up, as it snows and you look at that, I'll let you know that the vernal equinox, the beginning of spring, will be 1 week from today at 7:46 in the morning. So hang on to that. Additional snow through Saturday morning. We could still get one more little mini snow event tonight into Saturday. The odds of that are beginning to decrease quite a bit. In fact, Saturday morning should be pretty nice. It'll eventually clear off, but we're not done with the snow quite yet. It is snowing now. It'll be a rain-snow mix beginning about 9:30 or 10 this morning, and it switches over to all rain this afternoon. Right now, the snow level is us, as you might imagine. But the passes are just not good. We have a winter weather advisory down here. They have a winter storm warning in the Cascades, all for the rest of the day today. It's not going to snow too much on Saturday. If you need to drive over the mountain passes, you'll definitely want to wait until Saturday, because you're not going to get real far with chains required on all three of the major mountain passes. And I mentioned already at the start of the show, the Tumwater Canyon is closed between Leavenworth and Coles Corner. If you absolutely have to take Stevens Pass this morning, and we don't know when this accident is going to be cleared up, you'll have to take the Chum Stick, which isn't going to be a lot of fun either. So winter storm warning for the mountain passes until 5 a.m. Saturday. But after we get through 5 a.m. Saturday, they're not expecting any kind of precipitation up in the Cascades, maybe an additional inch or so, and that's really about it. From our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, it's where comfort, care, and community come together. Our normal high is 52, not going to get anywhere close to that. Again, it's snowing now. It'll eventually transition to a rain-snow mix as we begin to warm up, and then eventually by about noon, it'll be rain, maybe some good rain, a lot of it, and a high near 41. The snow level eventually this afternoon will go up to about 2,700 feet, which is why the passes are not going to see any rain at all. They're just going to get clobbered with snow all day today. Eventually, the snow and the rain will taper off tonight. In fact, it'll clear up. The snow level is going to go all the way down to 700 feet overnight tonight, but the system will be gone, and we'll have clear skies, which means we're going to be chilly, 29 for the overnight low. You're going to wake up to sunshine on Saturday. It's going to be sunny all day, but believe it or not, the wind will be back on Saturday and Saturday night. This is as the jet stream begins to transition back up to where it should be. We're still going to be on the very edge of it, which is why we're going to have wind Saturday and Saturday night. Cloudy, but we should be dry during the day on Sunday, then a chance of rain on Sunday night into Monday, and here comes the warm-up. 57, 64, 64, 65, basically about a 40% chance of rain each day starting Sunday night and going all the way through Thursday of next week. All right, we're going to take a break and come back with your Friday morning headlines. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
National RV Show is happening now at the Grant County Fairgrounds through Sunday, March 22nd. Countless manufacturers and unbeatable deals. Shop a huge selection of all the best brands of travel trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. Shop Grand Design, Flagstaff, Gulfstream, and much more, all with massive manufacturer discounts, free admission, and you could win a new RV. Don't miss the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds. Schedule a VIP tour to save $1,000 at nationalrvshowmoseslake.com.
Fibercrete fireproof safety rooms can be the difference between life and death for you and your family. Typical fireproof safety rooms are 8x8 Fibercrete panels providing a solid sanctuary. Fibercrete safety rooms can be above ground, buried underground, or built within new home construction. Best of all, a safety room by Fibercrete is very affordable. Call 360-770-2088. You owe it to your family to find out more about Fibercrete safety rooms.
Continuing to snow here in downtown Wenatchee. It's starting to lighten up a little bit. We're at 32 degrees. It'll eventually transition to a rain-snow mix by mid-morning and then all rain This afternoon, again, the Tumwater Canyon is closed because of an accident between Coles Corner and Leavenworth, and chains are required with heavy snow coming down on all three of the major mountain passes. 10 minutes after the hour, a former Chelan County Community Development employee is suing Chelan County. She's alleging that the department was a, quote, hostile work environment, end quote, where she endured, quote, on-the-job sexual assault, closed quotation. Cindy Wright alleges that Chelan County and two department executives, the director, Dina Walter, and her assistant, Kirsten Riles, discriminated against her on the basis of sex, age, and disability. That's according to the lawsuit that she filed on February 27th in Grant County Superior Court. Cindy Wright recounts several incidences of alleged workplace harassment in the lawsuit, including one instance in which she claims Riles attached a sex toy to a cabinet. Around 2023, a photo from that incident was attached as part of the lawsuit. Chelan County has declined to comment on the litigation. Wright worked for 4 years at the county before being fired in June of last year. She's suing for damages and back pay. The local utility district struggled with wind-related power outages that began early yesterday morning. It was very windy. High winds contributed to broken power poles, snapped lines in the Chelan and Manson area, as well as near Bridgeport. Roughly 160 customers were left in the dark after midnight in Douglas County, along with more than 700 up in the Chelan Valley. Manson finally came back online. They were last to get their juice back. Wind speeds were recorded at Manson as well as at Pangbourne at about 49 miles an hour at one point between midnight and 7 a.m. yesterday. A water main break caused East Chelan to be without water for a number of hours on Wednesday. At around 3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, residents and businesses from Highway 150 to Riverview Cemetery Road were without water. Other parts east of Chelan were being supplied by water from a storage tank and were asked to conserve their use. Residents were also asked to limit their water use to essential needs only and to avoid high water uses like irrigation and laundry. The city said the repairs were completed and service was restored by about 7:30 on Wednesday evening. The new Airlift Northwest hangar at Pangbourne Memorial Airport is now more than 50% complete. The Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority approved the 10,420 square foot, $6.2 million hangar project. They approved it in 2023. They started building it last summer. The hangar facility at the Executive Flight Building at Pangbourne is slated to be completed later this summer. Airlift Northwest is an air ambulance company. They serve Washington, Oregon, and 4 other states. Chief Air Medical Officer Jeff Ritchie says services and operations have not been disrupted during the construction. Flights from Pangbourne serve about 400 patients annually. 2 Washington Department of Commerce grants are funding the majority of the project. Port commissioners approved a 20-year lease, by the way, with Airlift Northwest at their meeting on Tuesday. The annual charity sale event, My Girlfriend's Closet, has consistently raised thousands and thousands of dollars for the Wenatchee Valley. Last year, the sale of donated gently used apparel and accessories broke $100,000 in sales to fund nonprofit organizations and scholarships that benefit women and children in our area. The 2026 event runs today through Sunday at the North Avenue Plaza here in the big city. The Women's Service Club of NCW is the host organization. My friend Corey Batista tells us that the inventory for this year is pretty impressive.
People have donated amazing items over the course of the year. They know that when they donate items to this organization that the money is going back to help people in the community. We do have a very full, store of things, but we also have what we call a back stock or a second day. So even though you may come and shop on day 1 or day 2, there's still new items hitting the racks. And as things shuffle around, it's kind of the magic of Girlfriend's Closet. Sometimes there's really amazing designer things that are kind of buried, and as things have been shuffled around, the things that go out on Sunday are really, really great quality. We have jewelry, accessories, we have an incredible shoe department. There's things for all seasons. It's kind of fun to, spring up your wardrobe, now that we're headed into spring, though I think it's trying to still be winter. But we have lots to choose from. We have an amazing, expansive plus size department. We have petites. Again, something for everybody.
And finally, on this Friday, the Colville Confederated Tribes earned a $1.1 million clean energy grant from the Washington State Department of Commerce to purchase a new electric boat. Overall, $16.8 million in grants were awarded to 22 projects in 17 tribal communities via 4 different commerce programs. The Tribal Electric Boat Program provides $4.7 million to support the electrification of tribal fishing vessels, including research and patrol boats, and to fund marine charging equipment that they need to power them up. The Colville Tribe's all-electric passenger and workboat will have multiple uses, including harvesting salmon, cultural site visits, and youth education. And now you're educated on what's going on around here, and it's going to be another busy day in the newsroom. They don't slack around there. They're not just playing solitaire, to my knowledge. No, the news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Once again, Grant Olson is off today. Jefferson Robbins will be in the anchor chair 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock tonight on our YouTube page. We stream all the time. We'll post our news on our homepage, NCWLIFE.com. We're on Roku. We're on Amazon Fire. We're on I don't know, it's right there on the screen. And that quick response code, the QR code, will get you our app. And if you got a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Colorado, the Kraken, ouch. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up in Angie Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether. We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services, including caregiving, meals, and medication help. This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. Chelan Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and culinary delights. With 4 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure. But don't wait, tickets are selling fast. Visit TasteChelan.com today.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Sports at 19 minutes after the hour. If the Stanley Cup playoffs began today, Seattle Kraken wouldn't be in it. They had the 4th and final playoff spot as a wild card, and they don't anymore. Colorado took it to them early and poured it on. 5-1 was the final last night at Climate Pledge Arena. Goalie Joey Decord got pulled. He gave up 3 goals on just 15 shots.
Holding on to it, zipping across for Nathan McKinnon. One-timer Kadri through a screen high. Decord possibly got a piece of it. Natchez pulls up. He has 29 goals. Kadri in back of the goal to the outside. Here's McKinnon through the slot. There's Natchez. He scores! Marty Natchez with his 30th goal of the season. 16:15 left to go in the opening period. Colorado breaks the ice. Taves in control of it. Shots are 10-3 Colorado. The second of 3 meetings these teams play in Denver on the final night of the regular season. Natchez all the way across. Backdoor McKinnon. Through the goal crease they score. Nazem Kadri at the top of the paint. Makes no mistake. It could have gone off a Kraken player because McKinnon leads the way. The Kraken 31st on the kill. The Kraken have killed off 8 straight opponent power plays. Makar holding on to it now. McKinnon with some space to the slot, chopped at, and Nick Waugh has easy pickings. He picks up the loose change. His second goal is an Avalanche acquired from the Toronto Maple Leafs, and Colorado has a 3-0 lead.
Amount of offensive firepower that they do have, you end up getting a shot from down toward the bottom of the circle from McKinnon down along the ice. The PK have that.
Short-handed, Chandler Stevenson. Evans, he scores! Riker Evans with a short-handed goal. Steered out by Kulak, left by Natchez for charging McKinnon. Now Natchez, Nathan McKinnon. He'll pull to the wall. Malinsky shot tipped in by Kadri. Nazem Kadri in the high slot. 2:49 left to go in the second period. 4-1 Colorado. Kelly all the way around. Brent Burns has room. Shot pass doesn't work. Held in nicely by Drury all the way around again. Burns goes to work. Down goes McCann. Back to the point. They work it around for Manson. They score! Possibly tipped out in front by Yoel Kiviranta. Josh Manson from well out. There was traffic in front of Grubauer, and Kiviranta will get the goal. 4 seconds left, and that'll do it. Scott Wedgwood will continue his winning ways. He leads the NHL in terms of goals against average. He's second in terms of save percentage.
Luckily for the Kraken, they have a chance to get right back in it because they take on the Canucks in Vancouver tomorrow. They're not playing very good. And then on Sunday in town comes the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. Pretty good game between the Cubs and the Mariners yesterday until we got to the 7th inning, and then everything went sideways after that. The Cubs scored 4 runs in the 7th inning off lefty Josh Simpson on their way to a 7-4 win in Cactus League play yesterday, but again, it doesn't count. The sole Mariner highlight was a 3-run homer from Colin Davis. In the 8th inning, the Mariners have a night game tonight. They'll host the Dodgers before they take on the Angels and the Reds over the weekend. Huskies are going to go dancing, but not to the big dance. They made it to the 3rd round of the Big Ten tournament in Chicago. Huge comeback all the way. They were within a point towards the end of the game, but in the end, the Badgers pulled out the victory 85-82. Again, there are a number of postseason tournaments that the Huskies may be playing in come March, but it just won't be the big dance. Prep soccer is underway. Here's your scoreboard yesterday. As you can see, Ephrata had no problems with Soap Lake at home. They won 9-2. Omak and Okanagan played to a 1-1 tie. They don't play past a tie if the game doesn't count in league standings. You don't want to risk injuries on games that don't really mean anything. Cascade snuck by Quincy 1-0, and Moses Lake took care of Ellensburg at Lions Field 3-1. That's what happened. Here's what's scheduled. That is a lot of soccer. Just one game today. Eastmont heads down to Edgar Brown Stadium to take on the Pasco Bulldogs. That's at 7 o'clock. And then all the rest of them are on Saturday. 11 a.m. they'll get going. Chelan will host Everett. Bridgeport will host Cascade. All of these are non-league games because it's the first games of the season for most of these teams. Okanagan will host Warden at 11 a.m. 12 noon, East Valley will host Moses Lake. Ephrata will take on Tenasket at noon. 1 o'clock start time for Quincy at Davis and Manson at Highlands. 2 o'clock, Kashmir will be down in Walla Walla to take on College Place. Eastmont will be at Mount Si. At 3 o'clock, Wenatchee gets their campaign going with Tahoma in town at Liebofte Field of the Apple Bowl at 3 o'clock. Eastmont girls fast pitch team is pretty good, and they proved it. They began their season with a couple of big-time routs over the Ephrata Tigers. They won the opener 19-3 at Sterling, and then they won the nightcap 18-8. Good job, Wildcats. Your prep softball schedule for today, one game. Moses Lake will take on Mount Spokane in Moses Lake. That's today at 3 o'clock. Quincy has a doubleheader. They'll be at Moses Lake, be at Medical Lake tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the first game, the second game to follow. Lake Roosevelt has a solo game against Brewster tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Prep baseball schedule. Moses Lake has a doubleheader today against Kennewick. The Lions will be in town. The first pitch of the first game will be at 1 o'clock. Wenatchee has a single game tomorrow at Recreation Park. They'll take on Cheney at noon. And Ferris will be in Eastmont at Dan White Field for a doubleheader tomorrow. First pitch of the first game at 1 o'clock. You like baseball? Check this out. In Ephrata, they're hosting the Johnson O'Brien Baseball Classic. Games all day today and all day tonight. all day tomorrow in Ephrata. Ephrata is the host team with Quincy, Warden, Ording, Tri-Cities Prep, R.A. Long, Omak, Northwest Christian, Goldendale, Colville, and St. Bernard Catholic is coming up from California to play a bunch of baseball this weekend out in the Basin. The Wenatchee Wild playing out the string. They just have 4 games left. They're in Prince George tonight, Prince George tomorrow. They'll host Everett, and then they close out the season in Everett against Everett before they start thinking about what they're going to do next year. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 25 minutes after the hour. The following obscure holidays are there for you to commemorate or celebrate. First of all, I forgot to mention this. It's Friday the 13th, not a holiday, but I'm not superstitious in that regard. A lot of really good things happened on Friday the 13th. It's National Good Samaritan Day. It's National Earmuff Day. It's National Open an Umbrella Indoors Day. It's Smart and Sexy Day. Hey, all right. But today, because it's the Friday before the vernal equinox, which is actually next Friday, but it's the last full Friday before the spring equinox, and it's always World Sleep Day. And in all of my research I did, I discovered that about 1/3 of all American adults don't get enough sleep. That means they're walking around like zombies. 1/3 of all adults don't get as much sleep as they need to get. On average, the average person will fall asleep once they hit the hay at about 7 minutes. If it takes you less than 7 minutes or longer than 7 minutes, you might have a little bit of trouble. 1 out of every 4 Americans report insufficient sleep at least once a month. The most common sleep disorder is insomnia. About 38 million Americans snore, and I sleep on my back and I snore. On average, women sleep more than men. 66% of high schoolers don't get enough sleep. That's pretty remarkable. Parents of newborns will lose 6 months of sleep during the first 2 years of a child's life because the child decides when you're awake and when you're not awake. Newborn babies will sleep on average about 15 hours of every 24-hour period, not necessarily at night, as you all know. Creative people tend to sleep more than non-creative people, but they sleep lighter, so they have a tendency to not sleep as well. But they're creative people, so there's your trade-off there. It is World Sleep Day today, celebrated Saturday morning. It's 27 minutes after the hour today in history. Happy birthday, Pluto. Well, not Pluto's birthday. 96 years ago today at the Lowell Observatory out in the desert, the news is out. We have discovered the 9th planet of our solar system, Pluto. They had a naming contest. They really did. The Lowell Observatory had a naming contest. They narrowed it down to 3 names, Minerva, Pluto, and Cronus. Minerva was the choice of the staff of the Lowell Space Observatory, but it was rejected because they already called an asteroid Minerva, and they didn't want to confuse people. Cronus was the most popular choice amongst Thomas C., who was the lead astronomer, but Thomas C. was also kind of nuts, and they decided against Cronus, and so they took a vote, and the winner was Pluto, which is the which is the Greek Roman god of the underworld. And then, of course, 20 years ago, Pluto got demoted from a planet to a dwarf planet. That happened 20 years ago, so Pluto was no longer a planet. But it was for, 60 years. That ain't bad. 66 years ago today, a baseball intervention and a baseball innovation. The Chicago White Sox announced that their road uniforms will have names of the players on the back of the jerseys. This had never been done in baseball before. The first time that a player's name will appear above the number on the jersey. The idea was to make it easier for fans of the White Sox who are watching the games on television to be able to identify who the player is, because the odds are they didn't have a scorecard to tell you the number. It was Bill Veck's idea, who did all kinds of baseball innovations. So the White Sox were the first, and eventually every team in Major League Baseball would put the name of the player on the back of their uniform, both home and away, with the exception of the New York Yankees, who have never put the names of their players on the back of their uniforms, either home or away, nor will they. It's a traditional franchise. 13 years ago today, they had the papal conclave. Pope Benedict XVI retired, the first pope in something like 400 years, or longer than that, it's like 600 years. Pope Benedict said, I'm done, I'm out, I'm going to step away. So they all got together in Rome and had the papal conclave, and Pope Francis got the gig. He was elected on this date 13 years ago as the 266th pope of the Roman Catholic Church. The conclave of cardinals, when they get together, they can elect any baptized Catholic male. That's all you need to do to be a pope, to be a baptized Catholic male. But since 1271, they've always elected one of their own as the pope, so unless you're in the College of Cardinals, you're not going to get the gig. By the way, when Pope Francis was elected, it took 5 ballots over 2 days. His predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, they took 4 ballots over 2 days. His predecessor, Pope John Paul II in 1978, 8 ballots over 3 days. Pope John Paul I also in 1978, 4 ballots after 2 days. The current pope, Pope Leo, last year, his conclave took 4 ballots over 2 days. Why do they do it so quickly? Because of what happened in 1831 when they elected Pope Gregory XVI. It took 83 ballots over 51 days. Anybody would get sick and tired of living together for 51 days and 83 ballots. So after that, they decided when you do the conclave, you all get together at the Vatican, and then we're going to lock the doors. You don't get to leave until you elect somebody. 51 days. Probably ran out of food. Let's do birthdays. One birthday, Coochie Charo. You remember Charo? I remember Charo, the singer, guitarist, actress. All we know about Charo, first of all, her actual name is Maria del Rocio Mercedes Pela Maraz Morlena Beleza. That's why she went with Charo. All we know is that she was born on March 13th. She's managed to shave 10 years off her age. Her year of birth, nobody really, I don't think she knows. The official documents in her hometown of Spain, her original Spanish passport, and her naturalization papers when she moved to the United States say that she was born on March 13th, 1941. That would make Charo 85 years old today. When she emigrated to the United States, she said she was born on March 13th, 1947, which would make her 79 years old today. And then she just changed it to March 13th, 1949, which would make her 77 years old today. And in 1977, at a court hearing, she swore that she was born on January 15th of 1951, which would make her 75 years old today. Finally, in October of 1977, when she became a naturalized citizen in Las Vegas, the judge in Nevada said, to heck with it. If you say you were born in 1951, you were born in 1951. I don't want to go through this again. Happy birthday, Charo, Coochie, however old you are today. That takes some chutzpah to shave 10 years off your age without cosmetic surgery. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. New logo, same great service from Alpine Air. It's amazing what happens, the surprises that may be in store when you take one of those genealogy tests. You do your thing, you send it back, and they send you back your family tree. Mike McDonough found out about that. And there are 2 very important and informative little things for you to take a look at. First of all, Javier Caltenco is with the United States Small Business Administration. They have set up offices in Leavenworth for the next couple of weeks for you folks who may have been affected by the December floods. There are low-interest loans out there for you to be had. He'll talk about how you go about doing that, but there is a deadline. And then B.J. Anderson, who runs the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society and does it very well. They have teamed up with the city of East Wenatchee to conquer the feral cat problem on the east side of the river. B.J. will talk about that too when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Welcome to Mountain Chick Floral, your go-to flower and plant shop in downtown Wenatchee. Explore their wide variety of unusual and fun plants. And when you buy a plant in a container, they'll pot it up for you absolutely free. Birthday or weddings, they'll create the perfect floral arrangement for you. Brighten up your office with fresh blooms delivered to your door or business. Ask about floral subscriptions. Visit Mountain Chick Floral today, where every occasion is a reason to celebrate with flowers.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
This is Mike Magnati, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, about 10 years ago, my wife and I did the Ancestry.com DNA test. We got some interesting but not too surprising results about our ancestral background. But one big surprise, though, is that the DNA results connected me with a half-sister, Kathy, who was a child born to a woman my dad had a brief relationship with when he was in the Navy back in 1945. A wartime love child. So Kathy and my other sibs connected, and she came to visit us all a few years ago. And this one formerly only child found out that not only did she have the five of us siblings, but she had 45 plus extended relatives, many of whom she met when she came out here. Now, sadly, Kathy recently passed from cancer just a few weeks ago. She was almost 80 years old, but it was a huge blessing to us and to her that we finally had this time together, and she was able to explore and understand and learn about some of her paternal side of her family. So thanks, Ancestry. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Whether you're a new homeowner
or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
We have staff there, members, who are there to answer questions. If anybody wants to come in, there's no obligation to fill out any applications. They're not obligated to do anything. They can just go there and ask questions. If they want to fill out the application, they can do that there as well. The staff members can guide them through the process, so they don't have to worry about it.
We should say that the office is located in the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce building. That's on Highway 2, pretty close to downtown Leavenworth. But it serves all of Chelan County.
Correct, that's correct. We also have other centers in other counties that are also impacted. They can go to any of the centers that we have available.
Yeah, we should remember the emergency declaration that is bringing you here also applies to many, many other counties here in Washington as well, that had some of which have much more severe damage than ours.
Yes.
Can you tell me about the process, Javier? If someone has a business, let's say, or if they are running a nonprofit, they lost assets or property in the flooding and the windstorms, what's the application process like for them?
They can come to the center again, that's the best. I always encourage everybody to come to the center, and they can guide them through the whole process, the application process. They don't have to have everything at once, but some of the things that they should have is like their address, just basic information. Make sure they have an ID, just to make sure that they can verify themselves. If they have their tax forms, they can also upload them, use them, to upload them into their file as they are applying as well. So those are probably some of the basic things. Then SBA will actually get back to them through email in most cases, and they're going to tell them, okay, you know what, we need this document, we need this other document to complete your application process.
Who can qualify? If someone is coming in to make one of these claims with SBA, who's the clientele that you're looking for?
Yes, okay, so first of all, we want to clarify, make sure that it's for homeowners, renters, nonprofit organizations, and businesses who were impacted in the disaster declared area. In this case, we have Chelan County or any other counties that are included. Another thing, we want to make sure that it was during that time that was affected, right? Which in this case is going to be December 2nd through December 22nd.
That's the period when the weather was at its most severe and the water started rising and people started to really see the impact.
Yes.
Can you tell me about, so to clarify, it sounds like it's not just a business situation, although small business is in your name. Other people can apply and may qualify as well.
Yes, that's correct. And that's, again, just want to make sure that individuals, homeowners and renters who are impacted as well, they qualify for this assistance as well.
How long does it take, Javier, from an application to the applicant getting word as to whether they've been approved for a loan?
Normally, if once they have all the documentation that SBA needs, it usually, I would say more likely around between 7 to 14 days. I've seen some, again, within 7 days, they even got notice. But we usually try to give them like a 3-week just time frame, just to be safe. Mm-hmm.
I understand that the loans are very low interest, is that correct?
Yes, correct. They're fixed, first of all, they're fixed rates. And for homeowners and renters, it's as low as 2.875%. For businesses, it's as low as 4%. And for nonprofits, it's 3.625%.
Is there an upper ceiling for how much people could expect to gain through this loan process?
Yes, for homeowners to fix. Okay, so we have up to $500,000 for homeowners and for homeowners to repair or replace their primary residence. For homeowners and renters, we have up to $100,000 to repair or replace any personal property they lost. So this could be, for example, like furniture, appliances, or even a personal vehicle as well.
And for businesses, is there an upper ceiling? Let's say, you lost your office or something like that.
Yes. Good. And so for businesses, we have the economic injury disaster loan, which is there's a limit of $2 million. We also have a $2 million limit for any physical damages to the real estate or any other property that they lost, or it could be a combination of the two, up to $2 million.
Do you know, or is it too early to say how many people or how many businesses might have applied for this kind of service here in Chelan County?
Yes, right now it's kind of early in the process, so we really don't have that information yet.
So there's a deadline situation here. I know that this office is open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays until March 20th.
Yes.
That's about a 2-week window. But is there a deadline after which people would no longer be able to apply for this kind of assistance from SBA?
Yes, we actually want those who are affected, survivors, to please apply. If they have any physical damages, they need to apply before April 27th for any physical damages, and we have until November 24th for the economic injury disaster loan.
Javier, is there anything you can think of that I didn't ask or that you think people should know about the program?
Yes, I understand that a lot of individuals may say, oh, I don't want a loan. But some of the good benefits about SBA loan is that, first of all, there's no application fee, there's no prepayment penalty. They have 6 months to decide whether they want the loan or not, or if they've been approved, they can still wait until they are 100% sure that they want the loan or they need the loan. So they don't have to take it right away. We also, for the first 12 months, they don't have to make any payments. We want them to concentrate on their recovery versus trying to make those payments. And the first 12 months is going to be 0% interest rate.
So people can apply remotely or online, but in the meantime, you have this in-person option where people can get guidance at the local office here in Chelan County.
Yes, that's correct. And if for some reason, if somebody cannot attend or they cannot go to the center, we have a website where they can do it online, which is lending.sba.gov.
Lending.sba.gov.
Yes.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, the Center for SBA Services is open at the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weekdays until March 20th. Javier Caltenco with the Small Business Administration.
Yes.
Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here.
You're watching the NCWLIFE channel.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
It's a really exciting program. Jerry and I are very excited about the collaboration we have to engage the community in solving the problem. So we're providing funds and a clinic. The city of East Wenatchee is providing funds, and community members in East Wenatchee are doing the trapping and transporting. So, and then the surgery is free. So as a member, as a resident or a non-resident of East Wenatchee, as long as the cats are residents of East Wenatchee, the surgery is provided free. So then the resident or the person who wants to help those cats would reach out to us here. Ryan Boner is our community programs coordinator, and he provides information on how to rent the trap. It's a free rental, but it's a rental. He explains how to use the trap, how to get the cat in the trap on schedule, and he helps make the appointment with the vet clinic, gives information about how to manage the cats, how to feed them on a schedule so they show up on time, and they don't, and lots of other good advice. So anybody who comes across unowned cats and wants to help them out, especially in East Wenatchee, we've got a lot of resources to help you out. Community cats are just kind of a conundrum all the way around. They exist everywhere people are, because cats are everywhere people are, and they are often loosely owned or unowned, and there's no laws that govern unowned cats. So it's sort of a problem that's nobody's and everybody's. And when they're not altered, they reproduce at alarming rates, and also suffer from very high mortality. They also create a lot of they can create a lot of conflict in the neighborhood between people who want to feed them all the time and care for them, and people who would prefer they not be in their yards or spraying or howling at night or creating other kinds of nuisance behaviors. Most of those nuisance behaviors go away when the cats are altered, because most of those behaviors are related to getting a date. I jokingly refer to it as alien abduction for cats, because we set up the trap at night, the food is in it, the cat goes in to get a meal, the trap closes, a blanket drops over them, they're transported somewhere they've never been before, and they come back and they're let out of the trap where they came from, missing some parts. But they also are vaccinated for regular cat diseases, and they have a rabies vaccine on board too. So that's what we call trap, neuter, return. So they're caught in a trap, they're given a sterilization surgery, and they're put back where they came from. The reason we put them back and we don't just remove them is A, they're not generally suited to be pet cats because they're not socialized. So the idea in this is that a colony, a group of cats, is altered, lives their life, and eventually decreases the population in the area. So it's really the only humane solution to the population problem of community cats. So the old school method was trap and remove, and humane societies were often tasked with that, and that's not our mission. So we'll take in the kittens that we can socialize and place them, and we'll get them off the street, but we want to try to shut down that tidal wave of kittens that overwhelm shelters. The funds that we've currently put up from our grant and the city, we've got $5,000. That's about 100 cats, because the hard cost of the surgery for us is $50 per cat. And I'm really excited about this, particularly because some people, they may be caring for a colony that was 4 cats and now it's 16 cats, and they don't have $50 times 16 to be able to fund that, but they want to help. So that's where the city and Wenatchee Valley Humane Society are stepping in to help.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available, or save up to $4,800.
Still snowing here in downtown Wenatchee, as you can tell quite plainly behind my left shoulder. It's been snowing, sometimes pretty heavy, sometimes not so much, since about 12:30 in the morning. They say it will eventually do a rain-snow mix as we get a little bit warmer, and then eventually all rain by the afternoon. Good news on the Tumwater Canyon. It was closed when this show started. It has reopened. That's the good news. The bad news is I-90 is closed now, westbound anyway, at milepost 70. They've had lots of spinouts, lots of collisions. Milepost 70 is basically on I-90 about halfway between Cle Elum and the summit itself, and that's westbound traffic, so that's here to there. That's a no-go. Eastbound traffic is still open on I-90, but not westbound. Again, closed at milepost 70 there. And there's been a lot of spinouts and a lot of accidents during the interview segment that you just saw. I had a chance to listen in on some of the scanner activity. There has been quite a number of accidents, almost all of them on highways, people going just a little too fast for the current conditions as it continues to snow here. We have a winter weather advisory, as a matter of fact, for our area. There's the Orondo Rock camera, lets you know how danky it is out there. Can't even see Turtle Rock, and we normally could this time of year. Chains are required on Stevens Pass, both directions. It's snowing hard. Chains are required on Blewett Pass. There's Blewett Pass right there. It's snowing hard. And as I mentioned already, chains are required on all vehicles on I-90 with the pass closed westbound at milepost 70. And it may be closed for quite some time. They said there's been a lot of spinouts, a lot of collisions on Snoqualmie Pass in that area between Cle Elum and the summit, basically in the eastern area, if you're fairly familiar with I-90. So this is getting a little cattywampus. Is that, what is that we're looking at there, Mac? That's Billy Goat. Okay, hello. Oh, Mac, you're getting snow as well. We have a winter weather advisory. I already mentioned the passes are just a mess. They have a winter storm warning. The only thing that's worse than that is a blizzard warning. At least it's not that. On Stevens and on I-90 throughout the course of the day today, 6 to 10 inches of additional snow, and Blewett is going to get about 4 to 10 inches of additional snow. All of this should be tapering off in the evening hours. In fact, the passes are going to be downright benign on Saturday and Sunday, maybe a stray inch here or there, but we got to get there first, and they could even see some blowing snow as well. It should be noted that the snow that's coming down here in the Wenatchee Valley is pretty heavy, pretty wet snow, so it is going to be susceptible to melting once the rain comes, if in fact the rain comes, and I think it will, although we're only going to get up to about 41. Here's your forecast. Snow this morning, then a rain-snow mix mid to late morning, and then afternoon it switches over to just plain rain. So we are going to see some snow melt, maybe some storm drains may get clogged up a little bit. We shall see. We'll top off at 41. By the time we get to the afternoon hours, by the way, the snow level will be at 2,700 feet. Even though the snow level is going to come down to the valley floor overnight tonight, the system will be done, so we're actually going to wake up to clear skies tomorrow morning, although it's going to be a little on the cool side, 29 for the overnight low. 43, lots of sunshine, lots of, I hate to say it Saturday, but unfortunately lots of wind on Saturday. So you factor in the cold temperatures and the wind. We'll have lots of sunshine, but it's not going to feel anywhere near 43 degrees. Wind still on Saturday night as the jet stream begins to finally move out of the way. We're going to cloud up a little bit on Saturday night. Lots of clouds, should be dry on Sunday with a high near 43. Our normal high this time of the year is now 52 degrees, and we're going to be below that by a lot until we get to a very warm by the middle of next week. And that's it for us. Have a good and safe weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.